Okay. And we have a plan what to talk about. And I mostly appreciate when guys you interrupt and chime in and ask questions or give your opinion. That's what we want to do. And I'm also showing two things. I'm showing theory, what I call theory, all kinds of interesting things that I have seen, and practice is my own projects. So here I'm showing you practical issues, and then I'm sharing all the headaches that I have in implementations. That is what I think is useful, if anything there. And again, I'm giving everybody a chance to talk, so please use that. Often people come and they share their stuff, so please do. Okay, but meanwhile, I'll start. So at least I'll give you what to talk about. And in theory, I will show you some of the things that I was investigating. That is because people ask me questions. They ask, how would you do this? Or how would you do that? And I need to look. And that's a good push for me also to find out what's that. So my question, can you hear me all right? Yes? Now, here is the chat.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's okay, wonderful. You say yes. And another thing is that now that you hear me all right, here is and you see my screen. That's all really that I need. Okay, very good. All right, so what I was investigating is the question of speed. I saw it somewhere that ChatGPT as a company gave up on robotics. At least that's what that opinion said. And I thought, oh, they give up on robotics because it's not fast enough, and you cannot have a robot that is slow, because he will fall into all kinds of holes in the grounds and traps. I was wrong. You can be fast. The problem was not that, they just didn't want to be a robotics company. But meanwhile, I was looking into all the questions of speed. So all the questions of applications. And the first one that I looked at is called Humata. Now I'm giving my own opinion, and my opinion is maybe wrong. I'm not logged in, so let me log in into that. Okay. And let me find the password there. Password I use KeePass. Here it is. Okay. And there is Humata, or Humata if you want, but here's the password. And what that allows you to do is upload documents and then ask questions about them. Well, today almost everybody does it, and I do it in a number of applications. But that was an interesting thing to look at. So let me look at the company, because I wish I could show that kind of credentials. Here you are. Okay, look at the company itself. Oh, could I please look at the company? Well, it doesn't. Oh, here's the company. So the big thing about the company is that there are two founders, great guys, obviously, with a big portfolio of projects, both. So you would expect something great in this. What they do is allow you to upload your files, and I just uploaded a couple, and then you need to pay. In order to have OCR, you need to make sure that that you have a plan. A free plan doesn't conclude that, but what is interesting is that it achieves speed by preserving some of the previous results. So I was mostly investigating speed, and it seems to have that speed. And then here is Ask Humata. probably here. That is similar to ChatGPT. So let's tell me about this document or these documents, but it should be clear enough to understand. Okay, the documents are about, yes, some police record, and that's why it's public also. And it's interesting, it starts to ask, but not right away. So can I tell it to stop just like, yes, I can tell it to stop. So more. Does it remember what it was talking about? Yes, and so on. So reasonably fast. But if you're looking into building an application, and that's what I'm doing today, building an application that's natural, just feels like you can talk to it without any delay and no allowances, because after all, you're just a robot. That's pretty close, okay? And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all. So let me do this, everyone. Thank you, and we'll continue. So on the journey for a fast implementation, that was an interesting first step, but nothing fantastic. However, I do know how that's done, and that's why I'm showing this to you. One of the most popular frameworks, and we can go here if we want. 1 second. Let's reshare. I need to stop share. I need to share again. Okay, with the sound. And I think in the first minute, this geek tells us, oh, okay.
About artificial intelligence and web development. All right, in this video, we are...
Okay, Vercel AI SDK is the answer to all your problems in this sense of speed. And the basic idea, I will tell you right away what we're looking at, is that you cannot speed up ChatGPT. And that's probably the best speed that you get. And I was investigating all these applications. That's how I know that probably that's all you can get. But the way to make it look fast is to start streaming the answer the minute you get the very first word out of it. Now that we understand how you make it fast, let's continue.
We are going to jump into a GitHub repo that uses the Vercel AI SDK, as well as the OpenAI function calling API. And this is a template that we're going to be diving into the code and modifying. And the two main awesome things that this template solves are, first, the Vercel AI SDK has a lot of great built-in things here. One of the main things is streaming. And
there you are. That's the keyword, streaming. Stream that answer. That's the only way how you can make it palatable and fast enough.
And so if you're building chatbots that take a long time to return the message and you need it to stream in just like ChatGPT does, then the Vercel AI SDK has really good architecture for that already baked in and available in some of the templates here. So that's the first thing. The second thing it solves is we're able to get real-time data with function calling. So rather than putting in static embeddings from PDF files or text files, we can actually use the API, the OpenAI function calling, to do a live API call and get current data. So
okay, now that's the secret. It is out now. And if I can close that window, I will. Hey, so we see the technology people use. You see the basic architecture. That architecture is called RAG, R-A-G, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. But all that is marketing. This RAG and the Retrieval Augmented Generation, The real key and the real magic, and I know I said that last time and many times before, is in ChatGPT. That's where we have magic. Everything else is just a little bit of technology. So you can make it fast, you can make your application natural, but and that's kind of my conversation with some people who tell me, but show me the speed. Well, the speed will come. I want to know what exactly you're putting in there. Okay, but that's Vercel. So that's the framework. If you're building something on top of that, that's the only thing that you need to remember as of today. And can we get the document? Yes. First of all, you need that link. And then all the links follow from there. So I'm going to chat. Here's a chat talking to everyone here. And that's the major link. That's what you need to follow this. So again, we looked at an interesting application that illustrates RAG, but to me today, I think those two great guys could do something more interesting because essentially ChatGPT allows you, it competes with everyone, and it allows you to do prototypes of that sort. If you open ChatGPT today, maybe you didn't open it today as yet, you will see an interesting thing there that appeared like a month ago. It's those additional buttons. So if you don't know what to do with this ChatGPT, well, you can plan a trip or you can give ideas. That is what it does. But in addition, you can also create, if you go to Explore, and you can create your own version of ChatGPT with your own documents and with your own customization. If so, that's pretty much like Humana. All right, close that, go back. Here we are. We talked about this, but then somebody pointed out call any. Now, that call any sounded like a porn site, but it wasn't. It was quite real. And let's do this. Let's first of all, I'll show you. We have already the sound. So I'll first open it and then show it, and then we'll discuss how it's done. Okay. You need to sign up, but if you use it on the web, it is free. If you use it on the phone, then I tried all these applications. I have a Droid, so there is one for Droid. Also, there is one for the Apple computer, Apple phone, and there you have to pay. That's interesting. And in fact, I'm taking lessons from there, and I'm offering my application. I'll be talking about also for pay. But you need to go to audio. No, not much, but they want you to be hooked. And you have a way to cancel it, but that you have to remember to cancel it. Okay.
Hello, my friend.
Hello.
Hey there. How's it going?
Now watch, please, how fast she answers.
It's always great to see you. What's been happening? I'm not a she, I'm your friendly AI friend. But don't worry, I'm here to help and chat with you. So, what can I assist you with today?
What's your underlying technology?
Oh, I'm powered by OpenAI's GPT-3, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer 3. It's a pretty fancy language model that helps me understand and generate human-like responses. But hey, enough about me. What's been on your mind lately? Any interesting projects or ideas you're working on?
What is a good framework for UI for an application like you?
Well, there are quite a few popular frameworks for building user interfaces depending on the platform you're targeting. For mobile apps, you might consider using React Native, Flutter, or Xamarin. If you're building a web application, frameworks like React, Angular, or Vue are widely used. Each framework has its own strengths and learning curve, so it really depends on your preferences and the specific requirements of your project. Do you have any specific platform?
I think that was good enough. You guys could hear me and you could hear Annie, right? But what was interesting is that GPT-3 Now, I looked into that. Is GPT-3 faster than 4? No, at least ChatGPT says they are comparable. So that's not the secret of speed. What is the secret of speed? You saw almost natural conversation. That again is streaming. She didn't mention that, but we know that. But I also know something else. So here's the link that discusses that. It's on OpenAI discussion board. So let's go there. How does Call Any app achieve such remarkable speed? That is exactly what my quest was. Very fast answers so that you can build some practical applications. The interesting thing is that that's what's created by a company who specializes in these kinds of apps. And they have 8 such applications out on the marketplace. And they're still looking for a killer app because, okay, you can talk to any, but it seems like, so what? I don't know how many people are there. But that is what I was looking for, the answer. So that's a question about how you do this. And the answer was, I don't know about any specifically, but the basic idea, it should feel natural, not be natural. And to feel natural, you stream the answer as soon as it's coming. Well, that agrees more or less with what Vercel says, agrees with what you would think. And what is a little bit unclear is that she shows what she's going to say. Now, if she was only talking, then speak slowly and you will look natural. But she was also displaying quite a few words. I suspect that to achieve this natural feeling, they also cached a few questions and answers so they can flesh them out right away. That is what I wanted to show. If so, I will look into the chat. Okay. And I will also look into questions and answers. Access to this document that I'm displaying, it's given. And what I will do now is stop sharing and stop talking so that you guys will have a chance to talk or ask a question, because that usually helps. I stop sharing, nothing to look at, stop talking.
What's interesting about Annie is they're charging a monthly fee for I would call an AI demo, when if they were really trying to run a business with it, they would specialize Annie into something like they mentioned, teaching languages like English or something like that. I mean, there's a market for that because people sell their language tutoring services online. So that was interesting to me, is Annie's general purpose, but in order to be a business idea, she needs to specialize down so that people know why they're there to talk to Annie.
Yes, I agree. I saw an indication of that. There was somewhere a note that, guys, you can use me to learn language. There is also a connection to China. There is a Chinese advertisement, but I'm not sure what specific connection. There is a video that explains it in Chinese. And I still couldn't get any more information just because of geography. But yes, why didn't they do a specific application? One thing that they mentioned is a call center. That's a natural thing. So in order to really investigate their business model, would have to spend more time. I was only interested in the speed. Is it possible? Yes, I think you can do your own. Now I'll ask the question, in order to chunk up documents for GPT-4, how many pages would it handle with the current token limit? Okay, that's a good question, but I'll tell you that you're asking about the RAG, retrieval augmented generation. Sorry to use this term, which I myself don't like because it's just too much pomp. But the architecture is simple. Everybody can understand that you take all the documents, break them into paragraphs, and then that's what you feed into semantic search engine, which usually is Pinecone. You can use Elastic. I promised you last time that I will be looking at Elastic, and I did. And I was teaching a class on Elastic. AI came up, and they even made me go through the steps, and I did it. I gave them a virtual machine with exactly how do you use Elastic as a semantic search engine. I found that effort very, very weak. So of course, Pinecone is still the thing, but if you want a local implementation, there you are, that would work. So back, your question was, how do you chunk the documents? There is a function call that breaks them into paragraphs. You'll have to tweak it to make sure that these are exactly the right paragraphs. I have examples where I change the size of the paragraphs, but it's still paragraphs. So you think of them as paragraphs, and you store them in the engine, and that all takes time, but that doesn't affect how you answer. When you do an answer, it's two steps. First, you query the semantic search engine and get a list of relevant documents. That's usually pretty quick. You can set up a very powerful machine or a cluster of machines there. So it's just like asking your search engine, and that can be fast. Then that you present to ChatGPT. There is a limit on how much you can present to ChatGPT, how many words. And that's right now, I think in the, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe 8,000. So within the reasonable limits, that's a lot, right? Money is not a big object here because in my practice, so I run one such site and people are supposed to use it. And it's maybe 100 or 200 a month for all of the users. So unless you go with a high level of people, then money is also not the problem. Speed is not the problem. Seemingly, that's what I'm investigating. Does that answer your question, Al? 8K could be. It could be more, but that is what you set. You set how many documents you want back, and it gives you exactly the number of documents. Now, how many K words can you give it? We need to look it up. Practically, I never had a problem. That would be only a problem when you want to send it also the chat history, and that history becomes very long. But then you can have an option of either giving it a window of what you were talking about or summarizing what you were talking about. So I hope that introduces you into what questions come up when you do this, even if it doesn't give a specific answer to your specific question. But that these are the things that come up. Thank you. Thank you for discussing that. Yes, ask it to summarize it. That's one of the possibilities. And if you're using LangChain, these are all provided already. You don't have to do anything. You just use there are 4 types of memory, and one of them is summarization. Okay, so I think it's good. And we have, let me share the screen back. And we were right here, right? And what we covered are all kinds of applications that are out there. And it did me good to look through them, because then you become more certain about what you are talking about, what would work for you and what would not. And that is all covered here. Now, the second thing is that I also have an application that's an application for lawyers. It's called eDiscovery. But basically it does this. It just accepts all the documents, and all the documents could be hundreds of thousands, millions. It's a lot of document. Today, that's a strange thing, but if A sues B and B sues A, then each one gives all of the related documents. So that application is open source. I have it for a while, but I found a good way to give it to people. It's like that. I create a virtual machine. Here you are. That's a virtual machine. And for that virtual machine, I have a password. So I log in. And people who play with my stuff, they can see what's inside. However, that's only what's inside. To the outside world, you give them a simple web interface like this. There. And that thing, it works from the inside and from the outside. That is really the big invention. So it works from the inside. You can have all the access to the VNC, no VNC interface. That's where all setup is. But the review part, you can have it in the browser. Let's open the browser. So that browser opens on local port, or it opens on the machine port. So let's open on the local port. And here it is. You see the same picture. It's the same interface. This one is looking on the local port, but this one is on the machine port. I just opened it to the world. And that's a more safe interface, of course. You only give the internal view to the people who know what they're doing, and by the way, paying the support fee, because it takes a lot to set it up. So the two things that the application does are search and AI. So if you do the search, you can do the star and look at it all. And what? You have only 5 results, but that's a small thing. Well, the application itself processes about, I think, 10 gigabytes per hour. And I have an engine that I'm working on that I call Piranha, that divides all the data into pieces, just like Piranha does. And you can do much, much more than my target is a terabyte per hour. So my target is this, and that's the processing part, and all applications should have that. It turns out that you might have AI, and you might talk to AI, but sometimes looking for exactly the right search term stops AI from hallucination and gives you exact documents. Well, AI will give you exact documents, but you still need search. So what I find is that practically you need both. And this is talk to AI. So constructed very much like ChatGPT, except that right now I have some issue that locally it would work, but in this way it is something with CORS that I need to fix. So if I just say hello, it pretty fast realizes that something is missing in the connection. But well, let's try it from the inside. That's the same thing, right? Let's see what happens here. No, same issue, but I'm meeting with my programmer just when we're done here, and we'll fix it. And that's how I'm giving people this application. I just start a virtual machine, and here's your virtual machine with your password, and you can both search and talk to AI. Okay, so that's what I'm personally working on. I find it a lot of fun, and I can, by the way, that's usable for anything. All kinds of forensics, and journalists sometimes use it. They get a dump of some secret data. They can load it into Thread and again do the searches. And I see that there are a few more people who joined. Let me do this. All the new people are very welcome, and I am clicking on allow to talk so that by the time that you guys saw what we're talking about, and what we're talking about, of course, is what's new in AI and how I personally, yes, I have to say it's me personally, how I use it in my projects. So now that I showed you that, I will stop sharing again and become silent again to emphasize that fact. I even put myself on mute for a few seconds and give you a chance to talk. Okay, yeah, you got a
Hey.
chance. Yes, yes,
Hey, my name is Akeem. I just wanted to quickly introduce myself.
yes, I
Currently
can
a
tell
cloud
us.
engineer at Adobe. I've been asked to work on, AI type of initiatives. So I'm just getting into the space. Currently working on my AI 900 fundamental. So just wanted to just thank you for this session, and it's
My
like a lot.
pleasure, and I will be happy to talk and answer any questions. By the way, we use Adobe for OCR.
Okay.
But I can tell you that's the best OCR in the world. But the business model is strange. Of course, sorry to break it to you, but there is an account, a paid account, which I have. That is a limit of 500 documents per month. But there is also a way to get in touch with the enterprise team, and the enterprise team just prices itself out of the market, and they don't understand that their competition is on price also. So we ended up not going with them, even though they were the best quality, and we might still go back.
Yep.
Yeah, instead we bought some OCR software, and that's only 4,000 a year per license. And now we're completely open, but I only wanted to mention that for your
Awesome. Thanks.
information, kind of. Okay.
Have you gotten a chance to, I don't know if it's been released yet, maybe work on Firefly or anything regarding Gen AI?
No, I haven't, and I'm writing it down.
Okay.
I saw this Firefly everywhere, but I don't even know what it is. So I'm writing down Firefly. Thank you. Thank you.
No worries. Yep, I just wanted to introduce myself, and thanks again
Yeah,
for this.
that's very nice. And all support to anybody who introduces themselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that was wonderful. So guys, you have that link. You have the link to the webinar, and whatever happens there, that's all recorded. We've been running that for at least a year. So you can go back and see, I'm putting it on chat. Okay. So questions welcome. People come to me with ideas, and some of them are brilliant and some of them are not so. But the end result is that either we will start maybe working together, or you will give me advice, or I will give you advice, or we will not. But you will get a chance. If somebody wants to present, that's wonderful. He or she is very welcome. Okay. So here you are looking at all the people. We have a great list. And thank you very much for coming. I enjoyed that because I kind of hear your breathing and I understand that you are listening and maybe getting something out of it. And meanwhile, goodbye until the next time.
Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you. Be well. Hey. Happy holidays and happy new year. I'm not sure when that is coming, but everybody should be well. So thank you and goodbye.